everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night. Mr. Look, Dan, how are you doing?
Hey, well, I'm good. It's a little warm out here, but that's all right. I'm doing good.
Dan, are you mowing?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was actually mowing around the sweet corn that you said you're going to send me that stuff for.
It went out today.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how that'll work.
It went out to you today. Now, Dan, Perry and I were just talking. Is this not been one of the absolute weirdest weather years we've had in a long time?
Well, I think you guys are a lot wetter than we are. We've been, um, moderately dry, but getting just enough rain to where stuff looks good, I guess. So, um, hot though. I mean, it's kind of early, a little early for I don't know, late July, August weather. Seems like we're getting in June here, but um, yeah, I mean the weather it's so different every year. Shit.
Well, here's the weird thing, and this is what Perry and I were just talking about before you came up and before we went on air. We were drenched wet a week ago, drowning wet. Then we went through 116-degree heat. Then we got a little bit of rain, and then lo and behold, this morning we had a tractor stuck in the field, as dry, as hot as it's been. We have a tractor get stuck in the field this morning.
Well, what's up with that? Just because it's wet underneath yet? You mean? I guess.
He hit a bottom in that field
Yeah.
that did not have any drain tile in it.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
I think what he did, I think he hit the combine holes.
Well, that would probably do it.
So,
So what was your
but
deal with Fox News?
they were shooting on the weather.
Hmm.
When was this?
Huh?
When was that?
Today?
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
You
And
are.
of all things, we're talking about the heat and the unbearable heat and the conditions on what it's doing to the crops. And then he gets stuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you didn't tell me it was Fox, though. You said some of the camera crew was out there, I think, earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Brandon, I don't know if you know this or not, but I was at Dan's farm a week ago tomorrow.
Really?
We snuck up there. Me and some friends snuck up there and went to a concert in Rockford, and Dan and Melissa joined us. So we had a good time, and that was actually my first time on his farm. I really enjoyed it. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah, we was glad you have you. Glad you could make it
Yeah,
up.
that was it. Really was last minute.
Yeah.
I mean, but it worked out great.
Well,
I,
I'm gonna tell you guys what, it's been a unique year, but it's been an interesting year. Let's put it that way. Now, all right, wait, hold on. What concert?
I'm going to age myself now, or age all of us. We went and saw the Spinners and the Commodores.
Seriously?
So, do you remember? Do you remember the Commodores? I
Oh
mean,
hell yeah!
well, do you remember the Spinners? Everybody knows the Commodores.
I
The
bet
Spin-
that was a good concert, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it. I really did. Of course, I think all the Spinners original members are deceased now because they started in 1954. Then the Commodores, for those listening uh, that don't know, that's where Lionel Richie started. They were out of
Yes, it was.
were they out of Tuskegee, Alabama, or was it? Or were they out of
I thought they were out of Detroit.
no, they were out of Alabama. It was a group out of Alabama. I don't know if it was uh, somewhere in North Alabama. It may be Tuskegee. Or I may have the Tuskegee Airmen mixed
Oh,
up.
I'm gonna have to look this up now
Look it up.
after I get done doing. I Facebook has just given us fits now. Anytime you want to share to groups, they don't do it anymore. You have to physically go through and share every stupid group to get it to go through. Okay, so the Commodores. Let's see where they're from. Dan, where are you thinking?
What am I thinking? Well, I
No,
was just
what do you? Where are the? Where? Tell me your thought. Where are the Commodores from?
oh hell, I don't know.
They're definitely from. I'll bet my life. I bet the farm they're from Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, I never really followed them per se, but I always listened to some of their music and uh, that concert. It's like Perry said, you know, they're all, I don't know if replacements the right words. You know, some of them were actually on the Commodore side. Two of them were. They said they were twins of.
Yeah, they were the son of one of the original members. The sons of the
Yeah,
original members.
yeah.
Okay, all right, you win, Perry. You win.
What part? What part of them?
Tuskegee.
They
They
were from
all
Tuskegee.
mostly
Okay.
they members met as formed a group as most of them were freshmen at the Tuskegee Institute.
Okay. Well, it doesn't happen very often. My brain is full of useless knowledge.
Yeah,
Truly is.
I actually I like the spin.
I know the strangest uh, uh, trivia. It's bizarre. So yeah. um, but no, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I
I bet
kind
it
of like
wasn't.
the spinners more than the Commodores, I think. And I
Yeah.
think the Commodores were probably the headliner, maybe. I'm not sure, but they played
Yeah,
second,
I guess
right?
so.
My guys came into the warehouse one day and he said, "What are you listening to?" And it's actually a group out of England that plays nothing but oldie tunes. They're called, believe it or not, do not laugh. They're called Jive Bunny and the Mix Masters.
Yeah. Hey, I got one I want you to listen to. The Molly Ringwalds. You heard? Have you ever heard them?
Mm-mm.
The Molly Ringwalds. They sing a lot of that '80s stuff. A lot of that old British. I mean, just listen to them. Molly Ringwalds. I saw them in concert last year in Oxford, and oh, they're great. Set me back 40 years.
Huh. I never heard of that one, Perry.
No, you
Okay.
won't. You will not have heard of them.
Okay. Somebody just dialed it up.
Under pressure, really? Well, now I can't get it off. Now, Dan, let's talk a little bit because I know you got to go back to work. Let's talk a little bit how your season's looking so far.
Well, pretty good, really. I mean, it's hard. Usually, you drive. You know how you drive around, your crop scout, and you know, usually you can find bad looking fields of corn here or there. Depends on the weather, right? Boy, it's hard to find one up here. They look pretty good. We got pretty good color. This last week here, Perry, since you've been here over this last week, I bet corn's grown 2 feet,
Really,
probably.
yeah. I pointed that out. It looked good. All of it was very consistent in height, which ours lacks. And I don't feel like I've had really good color all year. I
Yeah,
actually put on my oldest corn on 2,400 acres. I put an extra 40 units of nitrogen plus some sulfur just to try to get a dark green color. I don't know what happened. And my
well,
tissue
do you
tests
think?
are low on nitrogen. They're down in the threes, the low threes, and the corn's got 250 units of nitrogen on it already, plus now another 40. So we're at 290.
Perry, what's causing that? Do you think it's the moisture, the weather?
I, I put out 105 units, and we got uh, 4 to 6 inches like the next day, and I think it leads to
Yeah, that's what I'm going to think, Perry. Is
yeah,
you probably have just so much rain, you've just leached a lot of it, probably.
yeah. That's why I mean my tissue tests are showing in the low threes. We got excuse me, we got good pollination, good kernel counts. I mean everything looks pretty good. I'm just not happy with the color and that low nitrogen in the tissue. I said I'm gonna put a little more out there.
Do you obviously just fly on
I
urea?
fly it in with the plane. I mean it's tasseled.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
And
think that's
it may
pretty
not
smart.
be that bad. I'm looking at the edges, some of the extreme stuff, because like I said, it's not very consistent in height. It's better than it was. So some of the smaller stuff on the edges either had additional water. I don't know. It's just all over the board. I've got some good looking fields, but
Well, now, Dan, let's look. I know because I know you got to go here in a second. By the way, what year model is that? Is the girl in the background?
Oh, it's probably, let's see, what's the last 82 is the last of them, wasn't it?
82 or 83?
I think it's an 81. I think. Yeah. Yeah, like Perry. I told Perry I like that old shit,
what was
But I
that, a
get
4430?
no. That's a 40. That's a
4440?
That's the
yeah.
best tractor John Deere ever made, right there.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Is
they.
that what you had hooked to some hay equipment?
Well, no, that was a 4430. See, the
I thought it
44.
was. All right. I'm not completely crazy then.
The 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 4430 is bolted the way I told Perry. Just kind of stays right on the baler, and this for the most part stays on that mower, but it does do a few other
Yeah.
things.
All right. Well,
Some of this
just
older
all I'm saying is
equipment.
I'm not crazy. I do remember 4430.
You did. And you seen, and what did you see? Not one, but two of John Deere 6000s. You don't see
That's
that.
right. Boy, I
Yeah.
tell you what. Do you remember? Do y'all remember the 600 and the 600A high cycles? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Look, there's a boy here that has tobacco that has a 600, and about 2 months ago, he decided he was going to side dress his corn with that 600,
Wow.
and got it stuck right next to the busiest highway in the county.
You're
That's the 600. That was newer than the 600A. For some reason, I'm trying to think. Of course, no cab. You could get an umbrella on them. The battery was under the seat. It had a piece of bent rod that you push down in the kind of through the floor that engaged the pump.
Yep.
Was that a 4-speed transmission, or was that the 3-speed with the high and the low?
Well, these
You,
6000s have 4-speed. I
yeah,
don't know.
I think the 600 was a high and a low.
yeah. The 600A was a 4-speed as well.
Did you actually have one of them, Perry?
Oh my gosh, I've got
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You,
And
you had,
it had a 20-foot boom, and some of those booms were manual. If you wanted to fold up, you
yeah.
needed to get off and fold it in. If you needed to
I
turn
was just
around,
fixing to ask if you had the big boom or the little boom.
they were. Was that just a 20-foot boom on some of those things?
Some of them were 16, and I think some of them were 24 or 20.
I think we had 20s, but one of them had a hydraulic fold, and that was pretty nice. They folded forward, and they landed in a little rack. But one I ran when I'm talking kid, I mean 6 or 8 years old. I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd have to get out and fold that sucker up by hand. And they had no suspension, so it's not like you could really cross the roads. You had to.
They'd beat you to death going.
Yeah, there was no suspension,
Well,
zero. Now
that's why I
Dan's
had to.
got one that has the shock absorber or the front end, the knee on the front end. What do we call that thing? It doesn't matter. And then we had just some levers off to the right. The throttle was on the steering column. I'm sitting here trying to remember. Throttle was up here. Then over to the right, you had like your boom, turn your boom on and off, and then you had a pressure control where you could turn pressure up or down. Oh yeah, and now
Didn't they
they were gas burners too. They weren't diesel. Now that
have? They
600
were gas.
diesel.
But wasn't there a valve behind the seat that you could reach behind you and adjust?
Those things were so simple. I'm sure that's in the process of replumbing. It was just a bunch of pipes and valves that the pressure could uh, adjustment could be there behind the seat.
Well, they had.
I don't remember how they came from the factory. I'm not that old. I'm just talking about as a very young kid. And then they'd mount a bar across the front of them and put a seat up there. And we had to sit up there and spot spray cuckleburs and cotton and stuff. Oh
Oh,
my
sounds
god.
like fun.
Yeah. And they somehow put a seatbelt on there because if you fell off, there's a good chance you're gonna get run over.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
So
grief.
much for farm safety back.
Yeah, there was no fun. And we put out lanate and lure all the bad stuff, all the organophosphates, and there's no cab, no nothing.
You just drive through it.
Just
Just
let it
drive,
rip.
depending on
Eat,
how the wind was going, you just drove through it.
Yeah,
eat it
just
all day long. Yeah.
all day.
Now, there's a
Couldn't have been
boy.
that bad. We're still alive. You know. So.
Well, and that goes back to look at the things we did as kids compared to now, and look at what kids do nowadays. Things we did back then, today we would be put in federal penitentiary for.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't allow that. You'd really be frowned on.
How many times did we blow up mailboxes?
Yeah, might have done that a few times. Oh, wasn't very hard to get a quarter stick either. You
No, it wasn't. Or the caps. They were
right.
easy to get.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Well, gang, we will get started with the video because we
Are we
know
ready to start? What's it? This is about rice, isn't it?
it's about rice.
Are we about ready to start?
Yeah, you want to start?
That's up to you. You're the lead on this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm gonna get back in the old 4440, the air
All right,
conditioner, where
Dan.
bugs ain't there. So
Tell Melissa hi.
I will. See you guys.
be
Okay.
careful, Dan.
Yeah. Bye.
See ya. Now, Perry, how is let's before we go into rice and shine, we got
Okay.
that. I like the name. It's kind of catchy.
Yeah, I guess Seth came up with that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Seth comes up with that.
good job.
How is rice looking this year? What are you looking like this year compared to last year?
Uh, Somehow, even with all the wet weather, I got mine in reasonably early, and it came up. I think we got a little warmer spell, and it came up in 4 or 5 days. That's the big thing, getting it out of the ground, like a lot of crops. It looks pretty good. Weed control's been normal. I have a lot of volunteer rice. I've got fields that have been rice behind rice, so I've got volunteer rice. So we got volunteer rice. It's uh, resistant to certain herbicides or the technology. Then the volunteer is as well. So we may have to rotate out to soybeans or something to get this volunteer rice under control.
Now,
It's a hybrid, and so it will make something, but uh, it's not the biggest. It's not as good as the true hybrid.
well, and that's one of the things I was going to ask you. Do you have to go through because it's herbicide resistant? Do you have to go through and hand pull
No,
that?
no, it's bigger areas than that. It's not a quality issue. It's just a inferior plant taking up the nutrients from the plants, the true hybrid plants that we put in the ground.
Okay, so for the people that don't know, and there's a lot of them that don't understand, let's talk rice for a second. How many actual varieties of rice are there?
Oh gosh. Well, you got short grain, medium grain, long grain, and then you've got some other aromatics. You got some other. I don't know. I'm almost talking out of school. We raise primarily long grain in the United States. There's some medium grain, short grain, and is what the Asian people like. Uh, what I've been told. So varieties that we have to choose from, a lot of it is hybrid rice, which was started by Rice Tech. I don't even know how long ago, 30 years ago maybe, and it really will produce some big yields. Then you have your public varieties, just like the old soybeans that the universities developed. There's a handful of those still around, and then there's some other companies trying to get in the hybrid rice seed business with some success. So I think there'll be, I don't know how many actual varieties in the rice tech. There's probably, I doubt there's 10 varieties to choose from. There's
Now, when you go through, all right, the rice is going to start coming off the field. What, here in just a few weeks?
wait. So you say that you blinked on me a second. Do what? What's coming
The
out?
right when is the rice going to start coming off the field?
We'll start with corn, probably third week of August, maybe second week of August, but more than likely the third week. And the rice should come in. Uh, Mine's a little bit earlier. It should come off, early September, mid September.
Wow. Okay. See, we're actually going to start. We're actually about 3 weeks away from corn. 2 or 3 weeks from corn right now.
So you're gosh, is irrigation over? Should be right at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're
It's
probably
already.
what 30, low 30s moisture
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. Ours is already cut out. I'll know
It's
more
black
tomorrow.
layered.
We
Right at
actually had some last year. Over 3/4 of our corn never black layered last year.
never black layered. What happened to it?
At 20% moisture, 17% moisture, it still had not black layered.
Oh wow. I don't know if I'm old enough to hear this. Explain that to me.
I wish I knew how to explain it to you.
So it didn't have any kind of black layer, no separation from the cob.
No, I'll send you pictures. I'll send you pictures tomorrow that
Okay.
we took the day.
So
The
not even
day
a, not even a, so not even a gray layer, anything.
Nope,
Did it harvest okay?
it harvested great. Absolutely. And we moisture was down there. When the moisture hit, like the corn cut out last week, it looked like our corn pretty much cut completely out.
So when you say cut out, I mean disease set in, the stalk's brown, or is it still green and healthy, just the ears ready? I mean, what's or the
Now the ears ready and the stalks are starting to brown. The stalks started yellowing last week.
hmm. I wonder if there was some disease. Anyway,
We
well,
did have a field this year that we caught that I'd never seen before. I'd never seen this particular fungus before, and there was really where it was at. There was nothing we could do.
what was
Uh,
it?
it was a red root fungus.
Not familiar with that one.
I'll send you pictures. I've never seen one in my life like that. And the
What did it look like? Did it look like a mold or something? When you say red root, I mean I'm thinking low in the plant.
all right, it's in the roots were the color of our background that you see on
Yeah.
the roots were that color, and about an inch and a half below the surface, they completely rotted off.
Ooh, I hope it was standing. There's nothing
Yeah.
worse than harvesting blown down corn or.
No, it was standing, and it still is standing. But it will be surprised at what we come out with. That one will surprise me.
So what caused it?
It's a soil borne disease, and what they told us was they have grown strawberries in that field in the past,
Right.
and that it is something that comes from strawberries.
Wow. When you first started talking, I thought, man, maybe some kind of anthracnose has moved down the plant, but doesn't sound like
No,
it.
no, it was. I have never. Uh, I'm gonna bring up a picture of it now. I've never seen it before in my life,
Wow.
and I was like, okay. So he came out and looked, and
Red root.
yep, it's called red root rot.
So it's not a fusarium. It's not a.
No, it's a. Let's see here. I found a picture of it. Let me see if I can.
While you're looking, have we got any shows coming up we need to hook up at and go to?
Yeah,
What
we
we
need.
got?
I'll be up your way in July. I have to go to Chicago, Nashville, Indiana, Illinois, and then I was going to swing your way, and we could have some fun on camera.
All right. That's right. We've talked about this. Do you have any idea when that's going to be, though? July. I've got a few things in July, but
I'm open for the date. We'll figure out the date.
Okay.
I'll call you tomorrow. We'll figure out the date.
I've got a 40th reunion, my fraternity brothers. We're going trout fishing. That's on the 17th through the 20th.
Wait a minute. Well, hold on. Where y'all going trout fishing?
Up about 2 hours from here on the White River.
Seriously?
Yes,
there's some
nice
good fishing.
It's nice up there. That water's cold, 56, 58 degrees. And usually it's about 100 degrees ambient temperature. So the sun's beaming down on you. You put your feet in the water, and it's good, clear water. It's fun. I like it.
There it is. Right there. Perry.
Yeah, I see it now.
The roots are blood red.
Red root. What'd you call it?
Red root rot.
Red root rot. Huh.
I've never in a million years seen it and would have never imagined seeing it.
I've never heard of it. So back to this rice real quick, because it looks like we're about to have to start.
Yep.
I hadn't even seen this. So what are we talking about? Is this early in the season or is it harvest? I think early in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we call it taking it to flood. So the rice had been planted and merged and was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches tall. We fertilized it and we started putting water on it for the season. Yep. So I think that's if I remember correctly, that's what we were doing.
Well, let's get to that wonderful.
Let's get it going.
Let's get to that wonderful white rice footage and carry on.
All right, sounds good.
Barry.
Enjoyed it. Good talk to you.
Crop. The health of our soil is going to contribute to us making money.
I call it turning trash into cash.
I'm still looking for big wins.
I think it looks good.
Welcome to Top Crop. We're going to talk about the cotton, when it was planted, what we've done up to this point as far as fertility and maybe some weed control. But weed control is pretty standard. It varies around the country, but for the most part, we got to kill our weeds. So this cotton was planted May the 5th. It's grown quite well. We've had some rain early, so it's been fertilized with 60 units of nitrogen, and then we'll come with another 60 as of right now. We're actually putting it out right now. I've got Ivan with me because he's got to put some growth regulator on it. It's called mepiquat chloride. Originally branded as PIX. It's generic now, so there's a lot of different products out there. Did I mention that it's 100 degrees out there right now? It's pretty hot. It's really hot. The moisture's going away quickly, so we're wide open irrigating corn, soybeans, rice, and cotton. Combination of nitrogen and water and high temperatures. This cotton is already growing like crazy. With additional water and nitrogen, it's really going to want to grow. So we need to grow, so we need to put on fruit for a big yield. I've got Ivan with me right now. We're going to talk about an application he's going to make later this afternoon and tomorrow. With 12 ounces of growth regulator, the mepiquat chloride. Put a little boron in there too. Why do we put boron in there? Okay, so the boron helps regulate the nitrogen. There's actually growth regulators with a little boron in there. Put our own boron in there, pint to the acre, along with 12 ounces of the growth regulator. And we're going to follow up with a little bit of weed control. Splash of Roundup. We had some spurge coming through and some grasses, so we're going to clean that up as well. Ivan, any questions? I'll get you a field list and you can enter all this stuff into your computer and be good to go. Welcome to Top Crop. A completely saturated field through poly pipe or whatever means is equivalent to about 4 inches of rain. I think that'd be on the high side because we're doing every other row. We're in this hybrid skip pattern. We're doing in between these rows. So we're not completely saturated. We're on and off in about 24 hours. So, a couple inches. This will hold this cotton for a good week. We'll irrigate today being Tuesday. So this time tomorrow, Wednesday morning, it'll be off. We won't have to worry about this until middle of next week. Hopefully we'll get some rain by then, cooler temperatures, and we can stretch it even a few days further. Probably some of my youngest cotton. It's squaring nicely. It actually started squaring on the 5th node. I looked at that a while ago, and that's about as early as you can ask for it. It's about 8 node, 9 node right now. It's had fertilizer, heat, probably in the 90s already at 10 o'clock. Fertilizer, heat, and water right here for irrigated cottons. It's got a little bit of growth regulator on it right now. We'll put some more on it after this irrigation, and because with those 3 combinations, heat, water, and nitrogen, it's really about to start growing, so looking good. Finishing up some herbicide, some fertility products. We put out some fish head product too, so we've got about 100 acres split application on that. Looking forward to seeing those good results. Beans are coming right along. We've used Revitec and Reviloc for our soybean fungicide in the last few days. 2 weeks ago, I guess all the corn got the Veltima by BASF. You know, we've been using that for 4 years, unsurpassed results. Unless it rains, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping with some maybe fungicides, insecticides, growth regulators on the cotton, and a lot of irrigation. So I'll just say something about the Reviloc from BASF. This is my 2nd year with it. We've had some trials with it, and this year we've used 8 or 900 acres up to this point. We're really looking forward to it, and we've used Revitec for years. In some case, we didn't need all the protection that Revitec was giving us. We've already used some of it, so we're looking forward to the results that Reviloc's providing. So Reviloc's got a lot of the same components as Revitec, but it's a little more budget friendly. So you can save $3 or $4 an acre and get pretty close to the same protection and results. 2nd year with it, so really looking forward to seeing how well it performs this year. The Revitec did such a good job. The soybeans had a tendency to stay green, making a little tougher to harvest. I don't think Reviloc has that component in it. You don't have as much of a stay green issue. Now in extreme disease years, you might say, I wish I'd used Revitec, but you know, if you can save $3 or $4 an acre and get almost the same protection and not the stay green problems or the harvest difficulties, then this is your go-to.
Fungicide we're using is Veltima, because our 3rd year with it. It's been working great. There has been some tar spot already spotted in northern Ohio. Normally we've already flown all this corn, but we was able to wait until July 26th today. It's already past blister stage, starting to fill out already. We've been able to keep disease pressure away, and Veltima should protect us all the way through the rest of the season. Another thing that we're doing is sugars, octane. We've got to have that sugar. We've got to have the kelpine for the stress mitigation. And then the big one, something we found out just 2 years ago, we've been toying with, and we found it consistent. Onward Max, 6.5 ounces. And let me tell you, the trials that we ran with that, there's a reason why it's going on every single acre of our corn.
We've been very happy with the roadability. They've been very smooth on the road, not bouncy. They don't have the loud sprayer noise. So we're going to be putting a lot of high road miles, a lot of heat in the summertime. So we're really excited to see that, and the less compaction, our clay soils getting over it, and sometimes even tougher conditions.
We have a very aggressive warranty on these. They're 7 years. It even covers field hazard and stubble protection, which means that, CF really does feel we have a great quality tire, and we're standing behind that.
Corn stalk stubble is extremely hard on tires, so that's really good for us.
All right, let's go check another plot out. So from here to the top of the field is the Organics plot. Okay. So this is Organics with deep injection. This is Organics with dry over the top. And so it'll run from this flag, and it should be 18 rows to the next flag. And this is our Organics with dry fertilizer broadcast. Then there's another flag, and that second flag down there starts fish shit. We got deep injection fertilizer with them, and then when you get to the next set of flags, it'll be broadcast with them. Does that make sense? Yep. So we ran it in the deep injection bar. This would have went 6 to 8 inches deep and would have been on both sides of the row, so you'd be 3 inches on this side, 3 inches on that side, and this was probably about three weeks ahead of planting.
Okay. So let's take ears and test the probe in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you still have those ears from?
Yeah, I put them on the truck bed so we can keep them in order. That's insane. How fast does that work? 30 seconds?
Oh yeah. See, like right now though, it's trying to find the cloud there. It found the cloud, so it's sent the first sample right there. If I have signal with it, I mean, it's sent before it comes out of
the ground. Well, Corey might have 2 really fancy planters, but I can tell you right now, my row shutoffs are working on point this year. When you walk down these rows and you've got a perfect 30-inch aisle between the headland and the AB line, I can actually tell you the direction that this was planted was going this way, was going to her right. Because right here we hit something and we got a little bounce, and you can see there's, you know, this plant's probably off by 1 inch or 2 here.
Yep.
But if you look at the singulation on these plants, the singulations on our plants in our fields are absolutely on point. And you can see how good this corn has handled the stress. Well, we're gonna see a field today, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, it's quintuplets. They've got 5 seeds together within a 6-inch gap. I've never seen it, but it's like double, triple, quadruples, quintuplets, and it's repeating. And they've got field after field after field like that planted, and the plants have stressed 10 times worse. In the heat. So we've got deep injection this side, dry broadcast on this side. And this one is going to be, so that one up there, that dry broadcast, it's 100% of fertility. So like if it called for 40P and 40K, that's what it got. This one here is at 150%. So if it was 40P and 40K, this one actually got 60 and 60 on the dry broadcast. So we're seeing how much extra dry broadcast we're having to put to even maintain the same yield with the injection in the same area. So we should see fertility if we've had rainwater to move it into the soil profile, and if it's became available with the broadcast, be higher here than the one up there. This is deep injection. So the dry will start at that flag right there. My crop insurance agent's gonna be happy. Oh yeah, it's a heck of a good thing. Yeah. I mean, when they're saying the state yield's probably gonna be sub 60 bushels, and
you're killing it.
Well, I mean, even at 20,000 of these ears to the acre, we're probably looking over 100, 125 bushels.
I got a chance too.
Yeah, most guys around here are actually playing a little thinner than that. Yeah, this ain't Illinois. So what you're saying, Madison, is that I can call y'all come January, and y'all will just come out here to all the farms and send him with the soil probe and pull all my preseason samples. Here, I'm gonna let you hold the competitors, and then I'm gonna pull these out so we can compare.
In the past 3 years, we're 365 GDUs behind schedule. So that is one of our concerns here. You know, if we don't have solar, we don't have GDUs, we don't have photosynthesis, we don't have energy into that plant. So that's where, when you guys approached about Architect and being able to add that on at that V5 time frame, I was really excited for it. Definitely looks like it's doing its job here. I'm excited to take it to yield and see if we can't get it on every acre next year.
So this is organics with deep injection. This is organics with dry over the top. And it should be 18 rows to the next flag. And this is our organics with dry fertilizer broadcast. The plant health is definitely better. We're seeing the first lower leaf is starting to stress a little bit. Here we might have been 1 or 2 leaves below the ear leaf that's already started to drop off and brown up. So I mean, the crop stress is a lot less where we had the organics.
Welcome to Top Crop. Now we're in a rice field. We have a little bit of everything here in East Central Arkansas. So what I did notice is this rice is a little late, but I don't guess I've ever seen a rice plant take its fertilizer quicker than this did, and I attribute that to the root system. We put the fertilizer out really 10 days ago. Within 3 or 4 days, we got the dark green color, and it's really growing well and looking nice. So expecting big things out of this rice crop, especially thanks to Locust Ag's Rhizolizer Plus. I think we got a problem out here. I'm gonna have to go take care of it in a minute. Look at this, why do we have current? See those bubbles? It's like it's a river. So something's going wrong on the bottom of this field. The water's getting away. Because it's muddy right here. Yesterday they had standing water on it. So I need to go way over there and see what's going on. I think we have a leak. The rest of the field's pumped up nicely, just the way I wanted it. But we've got a problem in this land. And I've got to find out where the problem is and what I can do about it. So rice can be irrigated several different ways. Contour levees, which is kind of what this is. Even though this field's been precision leveled, so the levees are straight, it's still on a defined slope, and the levees are equal distance apart to give us about a 2/10 fall in between the paddies. One of the newer techniques in irrigating rice would be furrow irrigated, or row rice, which is similar to what we saw earlier in the cotton, I guess. And about every 3 or 4 days, you just run water down the furrows to irrigate the rice. And you catch it at the bottom, you can reclaim it. So, but that's really just come along in the last 10 years, maybe a stretch, really probably the last 6 or 8 years. It's a little more efficient use of the water. And that's been brought about because of the better herbicides. Because part of the issue with rice and water is once you get water on the rice crop, in theory, no more weeds can come through, no more grass. So if it's above the water, it'll grow and live. If it's below the water, it won't germinate, it'll basically drown. So both new herbicides and residual herbicides, they can do this row rice, control the weeds all season long. Pest. You know, there's some minor pests that can get on the plant, I guess, early. You know, some cutworms or something when it emerges, some bugs, some other worms that may eat the plant. But for the most part, we don't really talk about pests in rice until we get to the heading stage and you have stink bugs, rice stink bugs, which suck the milk out of the maturing grain and leaves a little peck on it. Because when you think about it, the most valuable rice is what comes in the little bag, the little 1-pound bags at the grocery store that your typical housewife would buy. She's probably going to grab the brightest, whitest bag of rice. So that's one of the qualities they look for on rice, the brighter, whiter rice. The premium and discount, what they call the head yield, broken kernels, whole kernels, the ratio in between. It's got its own schedule of premiums and discounts. So maybe we can talk about that at harvest. But right now, this rice is coming along fine. Water on it, fertilizer, plenty of heat. It's growing fast. So when we talk about irrigating rice, it's got to get us set. We plant the rice, it emerges, we control the weeds. Once we control the weeds and get 5 or 6 leaf rice, as we call it, which would be about 6 to 8 inches even in size and tillers, we can fertilize and water. But the main thing is it's got to be weed-free, and then bring on the fertilizer and the water.
Choose your herbicide. Choose your pest protection. Choose AgVenture. The latest trait technologies featuring the power of the Enlist weed control system, plus the quality and service you know and trust. Produce more bushels with 4-seed Enlist and PowerCore Enlist corn from AgVenture. Visit agventure.com/corn traits to get a whole farm solution with the latest corn traits.
Making some applications to some cotton. So we've got a product from Fish Head, fish manure. We use a lot of manures around the farm for fertility, and I know the fish manure has a lot of added benefits. We're gonna put it in one of our mixes. It's an organic soil conditioner, and we're gonna use it at foliar at 20 ounces to the acre. We're gonna do it twice. We're really looking forward to just more food for the biology. Get it irrigated in. We're looking forward to some good results.
Let's see, you got small, medium, big. And there's small, medium, big. But this is dry, and that's deep injection, so we really need to compare. Because right here, this is our flagged row, the one you're at right now. So we'll go 12 rows in, so 1, 2. Now what's gonna be cool is if we can do a printout on these And then we've got the ears, the printouts, we've got the Haney, the tissues, and the metagenomics from Rise Bio. And then we'll see how your probe is stacking up to what we're seeing with all these other in-lab tests and the metagenomics. Oh yeah. Man, that's gonna be a big difference. I ain't even counted the kernels yet, and I can tell you it's a 30 bushel swing.
Between the
deep injection and the dry.
Yep.
Every bit of it. Look how much that's stressed all the way down to the bottom of the ear. Yep.
So this is fish shit.
This aborted the entire line all the way down. So yeah, that's deep injection. So placing that fertility 6 to 8 inches deep where we maintain moisture at a longer time. All right, so I have the 2 dries. I've got Organics dry and I got Fish Shit dry, and you've got Fish Shit deep injection. All right, so we've got Organics with our deep injection fertilizer on the top left. We've got Organics with our dry fertilizer top right. We've got Fish Head with our deep injection bottom left, and Fish Head with our dry fertilizer bottom right. Based on average kernel counts, Organics deep injection is 18 by 48 averages, and we're coming up with 115 bushels, which is this one. The Fish Shit with deep injection is 16 by 42 averages, 89.6 bushels. The Organics dry is 16 by 44 with a 93.86, and Fish Shit dry 14 by 36, which is coming up with 67.2 bushels. A 25.4 bushel difference between this one here and this one here. So for a dry year, 115 bushels in a drought still ain't bad for some dry land corn. Because like I said, I mean, if the state average does come in even at 60 bushels, that's double the state average using cover crops, no-till, biological products in furrow, and looking at, you know, fertility practices where we're putting that fertilizer a little bit deeper in the profile, where we're maintaining moisture during these dry spells. So,
what else did you see out there though? Do you think
the plant health is definitely better? I mean, what we're seeing up here is we're seeing the first lower leaf, maybe up to the second lower leaf, is starting to stress a little bit. Here we might have been 1 or 2 leaves below the ear leaf that's already started to drop off and brown up. So I mean, the crop stress is a lot worse. And the crazy thing is like nobody can say, well, you put it, like, we randomly selected these and we're seeing more crop stress on the bottom side than we are on the upper side, which is, you would think that would be reversed because you're going to get more to go downhill. But we weren't capturing and utilizing that water the same on the bottom side where we didn't have the organics. I'm pretty happy with them numbers. And so not only are we seeing a better yield, but now we're going to go back and see, we know liquid fertilizer costs a little bit more per unit, but then we'll do the math and we'll say, you know, this is what we paid for a pound of P, this is what we paid for a pound of K, and did that 30% add or subtract off of that extra bushel to look at the ROI on it. Pretty dang awesome for a drought. Because I mean, we're fully R2. If not, I mean, you can start seeing a little bit of milk coming in there. So we're pretty much starting that R3 stage. And this one right here is predominantly just in that first blister with that tab on top. So yeah, that's a full stage behind. Now we'll go look at the other farm. It's a rat baby. So this is organics with deep injection. This is organics with dry over the top. And it should be 18 rows to the next flag. And this is our organics with dry fertilizer broadcast. The plant health is definitely better. We're seeing the first lower leaf is starting to stress a little bit. Here we might have been 1 or 2 leaves below the ear leaf that's already started to drop off and brown up. So I mean, the crop stress is a lot less where we had the organics.
Making some applications to some cotton, so we've got a product from Fish Head, fish manure. We use a lot of manures around the farm for fertility, and I know the fish manure has a lot of added benefits. We're gonna put it in one of our mixes. It's an organic soil conditioner, and we're gonna use it at foliar at 20 ounces to the acre. We're gonna do it twice. We're really looking forward to just more food for the biology, get it irrigated in. We're looking forward to some good results.
The only part that I truly care about is like where you see the water start right there. If you come over 18 rows, that little dog leg right there, that's part of our contest plot. You know, what I'm really hoping for is I'm really hoping for this field to average 140 bushels. I mean, the goal is 150. With some of the stress we've had, I don't really know if that's going to be achievable, but that's what we're going to continue to do our tissue sampling. We've got the new program that rolled out, foliar scripts. We'll have that tomorrow, have our printouts where we can actually see, you know, we're pulling a tissue sample on these crops. It's generating what we actually need to apply down to the ounce to make some corrections. And that's really one of the ways for us to economically keep these plants in balance.